Hey guys, welcome to the Quivers Commerce vlog. This is episode 2. I'm Ben, the head of marketing here at Quivers, and today we're talking about commerce in 2020 and what is very likely the new normal. We'll look at the state of retail and what's going on in the market today, the rest of the year, as well as beyond. All right, before we get going, let's address the elephant in the room. 2020, you suck. Yeah, I mean, wow. It's been terrible so far. I thought 2019 is ready for that to be done, and you've really taken the cake. You can go now. Bye. But no, seriously, I know that a lot of things are going on right now. It's a very stressful time with COVID-19 and the rest. A lot of people are ill or worse, honestly. Don't want to belittle that in any way. I want to say a heartfelt, from myself and speaking on behalf of Quivers, we love everybody. We hope everyone's staying safe. Be kind, stay home, take care of yourself, take care of others. We're a business vlog. We don't want to diminish the challenges in the world. But at the same time, this is about business, and we're going to look at the business implications of all this stuff going on and what that does for the marketplace and what that means for brands and retailers. Okay, so let's do that. Let's look at the world around us business-wise. In particular, brands and retailers are facing some really fierce challenges right now. Brands are coping with a decline in consumer spending due to a weakening economy, while retailers are just trying to do everything they can to outlast these mandatory store closures due to quarantine. As a result, many brands are seeing a steep decline in sales, while retailers, analysts think brick and mortar retail could shrink by up to 30%, probably permanently. So for brands and retailers, e-commerce is becoming a proving ground. I think someone summarized it the other day and said, marketplaces are becoming the epicenter of shopping. Essentially, this is going to accelerate the trend from physical to e-commerce, as well as the direct-to-consumer model. It's worth noting that this isn't the first time we've seen something like this happen. So back in 2002 with the SARS epidemic in China, that situation caused China's retail sector to shift very quickly from physical retail to online commerce. This is a trend that never really reversed. China's online retail economy was at 37% penetration and growing. Analysts think that can get upwards of 64% in total online sales by 2023. It's likely the US will also see a similar acceleration from physical to online retail. In the US, e-commerce back in 2017, pre-COVID, was about 8%, which is about $500 billion. Analysts think that that's going to grow here in the United States to about 16%, or about $1 trillion by 2023. Now, based on the crisis, it's probably not unrealistic to see that growth rate potentially double. And on the global side, according to one of our tech partners, Big Commerce, right now the global online sales are about $4 billion, or about 16% of online retail sales. And again, that was pre-COVID. So this is downtown Main Street, downtown Salt Lake City. Normally it's crazy busy, at all times of day, all during the week. Business people going to work, shoppers all over the place, people coming and going. Right now, it's pretty desolate. We've been under a lockdown. The Salt Lake City mayor put a lockdown in place weeks ago. All these businesses have been forced to shut down, suspend business. So these businesses may have another 6 weeks or so to go before even they get a hope of opening back up, which is really devastating. This is actually the sky bridge between the City Creek Mall, which is like the major marquee mall here in the city. Normally this thing is just packed out with like kids, hundreds of toddlers out there playing, checking out the sites with their parents, shopping between stores. Right now it's just eerily quiet. Okay, but so what does this all mean, right? Is retail dead? Before this all started, talking to different people, one of the things I'd hear, a lot of people were actually excited, right? People were buying more stuff. As it turns out, all that talk about millennials and experience, turns out Gen Z actually really likes stuff, right? They were buying more stuff, the numbers were showing. So you'd hear people saying, oh, the retail apocalypse is behind us, right? The retail comeback is here. Of course, that was all, post-COVID. Now talking to people right here in the moment, in the middle of all these closures, now I'm hearing all over again, oh my God, the retail apocalypse is finally here for real. Like, this is the actual apocalypse. Now everything's dying again. So is it? I mean, is this the end of retail? The answer is, well, it's yes and no. So here's the thing, a lot of these retail shops, they just don't have the runway to outlast these mandatory store closures. Like I had said before, a lot of analysts think we could see a 30% reduction, in physical brick and mortar space in the United States. But it's worth noting, this may be something that was gonna happen anyway. The current circumstances may just be hastening an inevitable correction in the retail market, which, it's always very disappointing to see a shop you love go under, especially mom and pop shops. You always hate to see those guys go. We love them, always want them to succeed. But even with a mid-sized retailer, something that you patronize and you love them a lot, to have their business model not work out, right, and have them go under can be very disappointing. But an argument can be made from like a larger market perspective. This is not necessarily a bad thing, right? It leaves a situation where the strongest companies with the best business models, the best retailers, it leaves them to compete in a more elite environment and to best meet the needs of consumers. So I don't know if you can actually see this. This is actually Cotopaxi across the street, their storefront. They're one of my favorite brands, outdoor brand, sells packs, soft goods, that sort of thing. They're here kind of marquee on the corner on Main Street. They've been closed down for a while, looked all shut down. Actually, let's go, we should go knock on the window, see if anybody's home, or at least like peer in. Let's check it out. The other thing with all these retail closures, like I said, it's pushing a lot of shopping online. Because, even though we're in lockdown, people are being more careful with their money because of the weakening economy. But at the same time, shopping can just be cathartic. People are still buying things. I mean, it doesn't really change the fact that, like, I love all this stuff. Like, I want that pack, and I want that really bad. And my wife definitely wants those leggings. Like, I got to buy them somewhere. I'm gonna knock on the door. I knock real loud, someone's actually going to be there and come out and ask me what the heck I'm doing and why my mask isn't on and why I'm not at home. I know it's there. The lights are on, but no one's home. Bummer. Actually, if you read this carefully, it's very important. Our online store and distribution center will stay open. That they're working with their distribution team and suppliers to keep them safe, so that even though everything is shut down and they're having to take precautions, their online operations are still happening, which I think is super important right now. So one thing that's not closed, essential businesses. And you know what's the most essential thing of all? Caffeine. Okay, medical stuff, but besides medical stuff, caffeine. All right, we gotta take a time out. I can't make it through even one shoot without a fix. Let's grab some coffee. Don't touch anything. Gotta place the order online and they're gonna have it. Boom. Should I get the extra shot? Do I need the extra shot? I have a long meeting after this, so I do need the extra shot. We're going big. Have a good one. Ready? And so you might be saying, like, what about D2C? What about to direct to consumer? That's been a growing and successful part of the retail world, right? A lot of brands kind of launch direct to consumer first, and they do forego the wholesale operations. Before this was all happening, we were seeing more of those starting to take an investment in physical retail more seriously. Right now, what we're seeing with our customers is twofold. On the one hand, they're very interested in scaling and expanding those online operations. That might mean propping up a new storefront, right, in a new geo or for a new sub-brand, which we help them do, or integrating more with their physical retailers so that they can share orders and fulfill locally, do local shipping, do click and collect, where you purchase something and then pick it up in store. These are all options that are becoming much more popular. So I think D2C has a place. It's a great way to kind of start a new brand, you scale up a brand, give it a test run. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're going to be a serious brand and sell to consumers, you're going to be doing it in both places. You're going to be doing it online and offline, period, end of story. When we're talking about customer experience, be it inline or in store, there's another really good quote also from Big Commerce. It says, at the crux of personalization and AI is the cheery chatbot who serves as the brick and mortar greeter or salesperson, which I think is really interesting. That kind of speaks to the idea that in this online model, you need to mimic the real world in some way, right? To have that cheery greeter salesperson, what we were just talking about, someone who's knowledgeable that can dig in and help you find your way about the product, right? So online is like, there's still some things they have to solve to try and bring the in-store experience online if it's really going to work in terms of really replacing physical brick and mortar. There's another really telling quote that drives that point home. This time's from a Harvard Business Review article. And it says, D2Cs that have dabbled in some sort of offline presence have reported that their customers who interact with their brand offline report lower merchandise return rates and more repeat purchases than their online counterparts. That's a big deal. So look, at the end of the day, I think if we're looking forward towards the end of 2020 and beyond, what we're going to see happen is brands and retailers are going to blend together like a perfectly integrated way, a process where channel doesn't matter. We've been talking about online and offline world coming together for ages, honestly, and I think now is the time you're really going to see that happen. Brands and retailers can work together in a much more like tightly knit fashion now that's honestly going to help make them more immune to crisis in the future. But hey, this is only episode 2, so you barely know me yet, and what do I know, right? So let's go talk to some experts in the field about this on the brand and retail side and talk to them about some of these things. Yeah, so we're here at Wasatch Touring with Dylan Timmer. Did I say that right again?
That's
Timmer?
right.
Yeah, all right. Thanks so much for having us over.
Of course. Yeah, welcome to the shop.
Thanks. We're talking about the COVID situation, right? And the repercussions it's having on brands and retailers. And so, I'm curious, how has the mandatory closures and kind of the economic volatility that's going on right now, how has it impacted you guys' business?
It's been a big change. As a bike shop, we have been considered an essential business, so we are able to continue to operate, but the ways that we're doing that have changed a lot, just from the extra precautions that we're taking to kind of minimize contact with our customers, and also opening up new ways that we can serve our customers, whether that's increasing our online presence or doing things like curbside pickup and service by appointment. And then on the other side of that, a number of the brands that we carry have started different programs to support us, like Specialized, who is giving us all of our regular margin on bikes that they're selling on their website and shipping here to our store. So lots of things like that have kind of changed and morphed, and we've definitely seen reduced revenue, but we're also shrinking our open hours a little bit and kind of trying to help people stay safe while still being able to help people do the things that they need to do.
Are you seeing a decline in consumer spending?
Our business has gone down a little bit from what we're used to seeing this time of year. I don't think it's been as drastic as we expected it to be. I think that there was a lot of fear going into this, that it was just going to be an absolute shutdown and it was going to be a a standstill and nothing was going to happen, but we are still seeing a lot of service come in the doors, and people still need their gear fixed and their skis mounted and their bikes tuned up.
At this point, a lot of retailers are, they're reducing their product orders for the remainder of 2020, right, based on reforecasting, like what they're expecting to happen. Are you guys revising your expectations for the year or planning to stock less product?
Yeah, we're definitely trying to be as conservative as we can. It's always tough because we have to have enough product here to be able to keep selling it and keep moving.
What's your inclination about how stores and brands too should be reacting to this? Like, do you see people out there going, oh, I have to cut costs and I just got to go to the bare minimum and survive? Or do you see people, are they looking at this as an opportunity to invest in innovation, and improve operations?
I've seen it both ways, definitely. I think there are businesses out there that are, like you said, taking it down to the bare minimum and doing everything that they can do to survive. And there are industries and even segments of our industry where that's probably about the only option left. But I think the position that we are in with this great base of customers and this great outdoor community that we have here in Salt Lake, we are in a position where we are definitely going to have to cut costs on certain things and make sure that we're being as efficient as we possibly can. But there's also opportunity for us to continue to grow and to take these challenges and turn them into better things for the future.
Some people were already saying, the wholesale channel is kind of it's past history. That's kind of the old way of doing things, right? So I gotta ask you, is retail dead? Is D2C a superior business model? Or do physical stores still have a really important place in the world?
I think the answer to that depends on a lot of different things. I think it depends on the product, it depends on the customer, it depends on the brand and their marketing. I do think that there is always going to be a place in the market for the specialty retail store. I think that there's always going to be a number of things that we are able to offer here that people just aren't going to get anywhere else.
So as a company, based on what we do software-wise, we've seen that retailers tend to get upset, if you will, or have mixed feelings, like you said, when brands start to sell direct online or at least start wanting to. Mm-hmm. Have you personally felt this kind of frustration and channel conflict with brands you've worked with, moving to D2C?
There have definitely been some brands that we have worked with in the past that have gone to a business model with more emphasis on direct sales. And it does affect my desire and my willingness to work with a given brand, I would say. I mean, we have a lot of competition in this industry, and we're always going to have competition. But when we have competition from the brands whose products we're supporting and whose products we're marketing and the things that we have all of these great experiences with and we want to help connect our customers to, and then they're able to spend an hour with our sales staff and then go onto the business's website and just click and have it shipped to their house, it stings. And like I said, it definitely affects my willingness to want to place a big order and work with some of these brands.
Cut. We had to do a jacket cut, wardrobe change. We get as many wardrobe changes as we want. This is a vlog. I saw an article in S News, the outdoor industry news site. Mm-hmm. It said that some brands were trying to help retailers using a rev share initiative. One company in particular, I think it was Jetty, said they were tracking online purchases by zip code and kicking back 10% of their revenue to retailers in those zip codes. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that model?
I think that anything that these brands can do to support the retailers that have had their backs for years and years, I think it's amazing that we're seeing these brands kind of step up and just take that recognition of the fact that they are moving these online sales and they are seeing these successes, but having that full kind of chain is important to them, and to see them recognize and support.
It's got to make them feel more like a partner at the
Yeah.
very least, right? I mean, even if, regardless of how that works out financially,
Mm-hmm.
if physical retail is still super important going forward, what does that look like, right? What do retailers need to do more of, less of, to succeed?
I think it goes back a lot to that customer experience. For instance, what we have done kind of continually over the last few years, but something that we will continue to push forward into, is just building up our service department and making sure that everyone back there has all the tools that they need to do the best job they can and be as profitable as they can. The ways that businesses like ours are able to communicate with our customers and really kind of build those relationships that we have become so good at building. I think that's a big part of the way forward. I think that there are other avenues too, like whether it's certain types of stores that are having reduced inventory and kind of running more lean and relying more on like drop shipping and retail fulfillment or things like that.
Yep.
I think that's a really good way that stores like ours can kind of help keep their costs down and keep everything moving and still be able to get customers the products that they need.
If someone right now today, though, your buddy you knew was going to invest in starting a specialty retail business, like this week, what advice would you give them? Don't do it.
Keep it lean. Keep it nimble.
Are you guys lean right now?
Not as lean as we could be.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, we're gearing up for a big summer season. We have a lot of inventory. We still have the ability to adapt in a lot of different ways. But I think if I were starting from scratch right now, it would definitely be with the understanding that I might start doing one thing and then basically need to change my entire idea of what I'm doing overnight, depending on what happens.
All right, we're back. That's it for this vlog episode. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember, it's really important that you guys be using this time to invest in and improve your online e-commerce operations as well as physical retail. If you want to check out the extended interview that we did with Wasatch Touring Uncut, that will also be posted separately on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out there. And of course, if you want to not miss any of these vlog episodes and all of our other cool stuff, be sure to give us a subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram. And if you want to find out more about how to use our software and how to get started with that, you can check us out, request a demo on our website anytime.